TV. You'll see I'm not alone today in the studio. I got my friend with me, Maximus Wright. He's got a vision to build a bridge from Mississippi to Hollywood, which I think is pretty cool. And he's working to develop 100 filmmakers from Mississippi from all over the next 7 years, which I think is really cool. And one way he's doing that is through the JXN Film Festival, which is coming up July 23rd through the 28th. And you've been busy, Maximus.
Yes, I have.
But welcome. So
Thank you.
This is really cool. I love the fact that it feels like the film industry, all shapes and sizes of it, is just really thriving and growing right now in Mississippi. And so every time you turn on the news, you see some star has made their way to the central area to shoot a film. I can't think of right now who the most recent one, but there's been several over the last couple of months, as well as other feature films throughout the state. So I think that's neat. But we have our own film, I guess, directors sort of nurtured here within our state. And so we want to grow those, and then hopefully they will come and do their films here. So let's talk about the film festival. When was your vision for this?
Well, we're going to say it probably started out as my nightmare for this.
Okay, that's fair.
Well, in 2020, we partnered with the city, and we created a film festival connected with the city called Tech Jackson. It was really, they had asked me to come show more of my work, and I was like, there are more people than me. Why don't we just open this up for other people? And it started virtually, and the next year, Dr. Candace Love Jackson, which is one of my partners in the festival, she said, well, it's the 25th anniversary for A Time to Kill, so we need to continue this. And like an idiot, I listened, and 3 years later, this is our third in-person festival with just us.
But obviously people are enjoying it, and at least the filmmakers are probably very appreciative of it, because even now more than ever, I won't say it's easy to create a film or to produce one, but someone who is interested in that, it's a lot more accessible for them to do that with the technology that we have now versus 10, 15, or even 20 years ago. So they have easy is not the right word, but more of an opportunity to stretch those talents. Because I wouldn't even know where to start. So that's why I hate using the word like easy, because it's not easy, but.
No, it's the exact opposite of what easy would be. But there are more advantages.
Yes.
You do have advantages that you didn't have when people were still doing it on 16 millimeter. So, yeah, so it's definitely that. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to create community, because a lot of our people who are interested, young and old, they feel they have to leave the state to be successful. Mm-hmm. There are more productions coming in. The last one had George Lopez and Terrence Howard.
It was.
Yeah,
yes.
George Lopez and Terrence Howard. So, but this is not, I don't want people to think that Mississippi's just getting into film. The Mississippi Film Office is 50 years old. It is the second oldest film office in the world.
Really?
It is literally as old as hip-hop.
Now,
yes.
gotta take a pause for that. Like to think about it that way. Mm-hmm. I guess is it just now growing steam that we're recognizing it, or it's bringing more awareness to it? What do you think the like surge in our interest of what's going on in our own state around film, I think, has come from?
I think it's more advantageous to make people more aware of it now because of social media. When you think about Cadillac Records was filmed here. Walk the Line, the Johnny Cash story, it was filmed here. And even when they did Get On Up by Tate Taylor directed that piece. That piece where they were in France, that was Tharmar Hall. So people have been filming here for years, but now, because of social media, it's almost like instant advertisement. The more people can know about it, and now people walk around with their cameras because they're seeing Terrence Howard in Whole Foods or George Lopez in Fondren. So it's more advantageous now because it helped promote. And that's in marketing and sales and marketing. That's really what distribution is all about.
Does that also get more young people or young minds, or you mentioned of all ages for the JXN Film Festival, the encouragement or the inspiration to try to do it themselves or try to figure it out, or give them more, I guess more encouragement would be the right way to say it.
Well, we've only what we see, hear, and experience. If we see it, then now we believe it's possible. So the more that we're seeing this, now people are believing that this is a possibility. Like when I was growing up, watching different strokes was pretty much it for me. I was like, well, we can watch it. We never thought we could actually be on it or write it or produce it.
I was going to say, but that would be my thing. You would first think maybe I could be on the screen, but you have no idea what's going on behind the screen or being able to put that sort of together. I still wouldn't even know where to start. And I know again, easier is not the right word, but you have the tools at your fingertips if you have the know-how or the drive to do it now. Is much more accessible. So you have, I guess, this people who are wanting to, I guess, create films here in the metro area, how do you then get them to submit for a film festival? Because that seems scary, too, to how to get people interested in producing films to then be put into a festival.
Well, fortunately, we're on this mission to create 100 filmmakers in the next 7 years. So we're doing stuff throughout the year. We're actually training throughout the year. And it's our hopes that we are breaking through some of those barriers and getting people to realize this is something that is very possible, because you can't say entertainment without saying Mississippi. Greatest writers, greatest musicians, greatest actors, we should have the greatest filmmakers. But it's been kind of closed out, and we've kind of felt intimidated by it.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, and most people are. But, I tell people, if a man can build a house, he can build a film set. If a woman can wire a nuclear plant, she can wire a film set. But it's just nuanced training. So what we're trying to do in that creating 100 filmmakers, not just making actors, but taking carpenters and letting them see, hey, let's just nuance your skill set for film. Taking cosmetologists, because when they're doing projects in Natchez, they're flying cosmetologists in to do hair.
Oh no!
And there's 100 cosmetologists
or more in a 24-mile probably radius.
And that's why it's very important for me to try to keep lobbying legislature and the leaders to saying, hey, this is workforce development. We just need to stop looking at it as entertainment and focus on the workforce development, because they have to bring all those crew people here. So we're losing millions of dollars a year by not training the workforce. So when George Lopez and other people come in, we're like, okay, we have qualified camera ops, cosmetologists,
costuming,
wardrobe, makeup, everything.
All things.
And we just need to, and it's not reteaching them the skill set, it's just nuance.
It's in sort of how to direct it, sort of market it, and then giving them a little bit of the experience, because even if they're running their local studio or salon, for most days they can be called out or schedule in those more special or prominent sort of projects. And doesn't mean that's all they necessarily do. They can be called to the set if they are needed. And
I've actually spoken with cosmetologists outside of the state who are willing to come in and train because you have to also retrain your people who come all the time. You have to retrain your regular customers, but there's a way to do it, and they have a good work balance. So this is not something that is outside the scope of possibility. So within the JXN Film Festival, if I'm hearing you right, this is not just about the filmmaker, but you're giving all of these different industries the opportunity to learn how to work on a set or within a filmmaking process, and then see it come to life on a bigger screen through, I guess, the festival process. Yes, we're absolutely trying to create community. And by creating community, then we can entice our children to stay here as opposed to feeling they have to leave the state. Because we don't want them to get educated in the film and then leave us. You want them to have them stay here and do their filmmaking. We don't want them to feel that they have to leave. Right. If they choose, we have to accept it, but not because they feel that they have to. So the first year you did this, the JXN Film Festival, how many submissions did you have? I think we had like 100 submissions the first year. It was free the first year. Oh, okay. So never mind. Okay. So has some of the same ones come back, or how has it sort of grown over the last 3 years? That's one of the things I'm most proud of, because we had some people who were just starting out in film, and they were competing with people all over the world. And some of them didn't win the first year. They didn't win the second year. But they came back and they kept working, and we've seen the quality of their work grow. We had one lady who 2 years ago won our festival and won Cannes. Really? She won Cannes. Like real talk, she won Cannes after our festival, but she loved our festival better, and she was from Memphis. So the young lady who lost to her the following year came back the next year and beat her, and she's from Jackson. Do y'all do a little post-film critique's probably not the word, but maybe just encouragement or coaching, like, you may get in some of the different other contests, or is it more they just feedback? Do you give them feedback on their films? Yeah. Well, the judges, they provide, if they request it, they can get the judges' notes. And I'm here. I don't watch anything before the festival. I don't watch anything. A lot of times I don't watch it during the festival. I wait till after the festival and watch it. But I'm always available to those who say, hey, can I talk to you about what happened last year? and I'm there to coach them and say, hey, let's do this, let's work on this so you can be stronger by the next year.
They may come back and win it all. We don't know who's going to win this year because it kicks off July 23rd through the 28th. That's the JXN Film Festival. We've got more with Maximus Wright, Talk TV. We're continuing our conversation with Maximus Wright. He is with the JXN Film Festival, third year running for the festival, but the film industry is celebrating 50 years here in Mississippi. I'm going to leave today knowing the little trivia that it's older than hip-hop, which, I mean, just puts, just when you think about it, Maximus, you just think, wow, go Mississippi. But I think we are learning that the film industry here in Mississippi is not just has been blooming, but it's really in a season right now where it's getting more interest. You brought up something that I hadn't thought about. We've got excellent actors and actresses from here, artists of all kind, writers of all kind, but there's not that filmmaker that just, sets the stage and brings Mississippi to light. And it's not because they're not here. They just haven't been developed or had the opportunity. So you're doing that. Let's talk about the film festival. Give us sort of the breakdown. How does it work? What will be happening the 23rd through the 28th of this month?
Well, we start out that Sunday evening with a premiere of The Wiz, which will be the 45th anniversary of The Wiz. So we're excited about that. That is a free showing at the Jackson Convention Center. You just need to register on Eventbrite and come through. There's a costume competition, so, hey, that's going to always be fun. Dress as your favorite character. Then we go on, we have a review that Monday where we sit down and we talk about it. Reflections on The Wiz at the Homewood Suites there in Fondren. We're going about 5:30, I believe. We're going to be talking about that. And then Tuesday through Thursday, we have a pitch camp. The pitch camp is with Ashley McFarland. Ashley McFarland is is a TV exec with WeTV and AMC. So she's coming down, teaching folk, like, if you have an idea, how do you get it to television? How do you get it to the movies? So she's going to do a training, and it's at a really good reduced price because I've begged, borrowed, and stealed to get her here. But she's going to be teaching and showing you how to do that and giving you an opportunity to pitch to people like her because she's the director of original content for AMC and All Black. So we're excited about that. I'm teaching a class on screenwriting that Wednesday. The world famous Tennille Stewart will be teaching a master class on acting that Friday. And we have free screenings, Monday through Wednesday at the Capri in Fondren from 9 to 2. So it's absolutely free. You can come and see what has been submitted to the festival, see what these people are doing and what type of projects they have put together. And then there are other events that if you look at the JXN Film Festival's website, jxnfilmfestival.com, you'll be able to see other things that we're adding.
What are the parameters for the films? Were they given genres? Were they given direction, a time limit? Was there any kind of at least, a little bit of a breakdown of what had to be in there or not? Mm-hmm.
So basically, Dr. Candace Love Jackson is the director of the festival. Everything has to be submitted through Film Freeway, and the parameters and the guidelines are in there. So you have to pretty much, if you're saying you're doing a feature film is pretty much 60 minutes to however long. Short film is, I think, 50 minutes and less. So basically, you have a short film, feature film, you have documentaries, you have actors monologue for best actors, you have scoring. So we have an array of characters. We even had a TikTok category this year because TikTok is taking off, and these people they're using the same skills.
Putting a ton of time and effort and energy into their little videos. Well, they're not little, but shorter videos.
Yeah, so we're trying to move with the culture and see where it's going because one thing that we're priding ourselves on is that we're leading. We want to lead, especially in the independent film world, because with that writer strike that's going on and now the actor strike that's going on, this is a great opportunity for those independent filmmakers and aspiring filmmakers to start working and writing, because once it opens, everyone's going to have their hands out because they're going to be so starved for content.
So what does it mean for a filmmaker to be a part of something like the JXN Film Festival? I mean, you mentioned the one who won last year went on to win Cannes, which I don't even really know what that means other than it's big and it's like a big deal. It's for someone who doesn't even get, what the Cannes Film Festival means. I get winning it is pretty prominent. Mm-hmm. So what is it for these filmmakers? What does the festival give back to the filmmaker other than, I guess, winning, but an opportunity? Yeah.
Well, this is a optimal opportunity to network. A lot of the filmmakers here are filming in silos and they are separate. They don't really have a community. So what the festival does is it brings people of like minds that are in this region, not just Mississippi because it's a regional festival, and they are now creating relationships. We believe that a lot of time the success happens laterally, but it happens horizontally. It takes the people who are in the trenches with you. You know, when they rise, they remember you and they bring you onto projects because they trust you, they spend time with you, and that is crucial if we are going to grow this market. So they are getting access to people who are in Hollywood, but more importantly, they're getting access to people who are down the street,
which are more accessible, and obviously you appreciate and sort of work your way up that way. It's a small world, huh? The film industry is a small world. Is there a it's not a dog eat dog world? Is it a very kind of like we're all in this together? There's enough room for everybody, or are you breaking down some of those barriers as well?
It's probably like talk radio.
Well. so there's all kinds.
All kinds.
There's all kinds. Okay, I get that. But I think the ones who probably end up doing the best and then have the most opportunity are those that do take the opportunity to network and recognize that when it comes to content, even in talk radio, there's room for everybody.
It is.
You talk about a revolving door. That's what content is, even with movies and everything else. There's plenty of room for everyone who has the quality of work to have their moment, I would think.
I think the issue is that we're a part of an evolution in real time. At one point there were only 3 radio stations.
Right.
So film comes from that world of just 6 studios before. So now we got streaming. So you have people who feel like there is no room because they've been used to fight and claw for everything they got, and they don't realize that the world is changing, that there is room for everyone. So we're in a shift of mindsets, and I think the more, I think as we get more time, people will start being more generous.
I totally agree with that. And, okay, so what if someone's listening, Maximus, and it's like, wow, all this sounds great. I'd be very interested in being one of the 100 filmmakers that he wants to develop over the next 7 years, or just has a student that may be. Where do you get started? How do you get started?
Come to the festival. Come meet us. Come meet the other people that's involved, because this fundraiser, because the festival week is our fundraiser to do the work for the rest of the year.
Right.
So when they come in, they get a ticket to the Black Tie Gala on the 28th. Those funds are helping us do the work. All of this is by the grace of God and contributions from people who believe in what we're doing, but it starts here with the festival. It's not just to celebrate, but it's also to fundraise. You
have such a passion for independent filmmaking. Where does that come from?
Well, that's come from being disenfranchised, being left out. I know what it feels like for people not to give you a shot. And I've been fortunate in this arena. And what I wanted to pride myself on was not being a gatekeeper, but a gateway. Which I think is the way that softens hearts too, like other hearts, when they see other people trying to pave the way for those to have the opportunity. I mean, the skill is going to be what rises you to the top, but you just have to get through the gate first. You just have the opportunity to get through the door to sort of do it. If we've never been to a film festival before, what do you expect? Something new, something different? How should we go into it? Oh man, if you love movies, this is definitely the place for you, because you're going to see stuff. We got films from China, we got films from Canada, and one of the things I'm very proud of is that we've had international projects since the beginning, but this is the first time we have a delegation from Canada that's coming to Mississippi, so they're going to be here for the whole week. So if you like people and you like movies, then you just show up. You don't have to know a grip from a gaffer. You don't have to know any of that stuff. I don't know any of that. Right. All you need to know is, do you like movies? And you come in and you see them and you watch them and enjoy them, and then you meet the people who made them and learn more about them. So this is about love, man. This is not about being technically sound. This is about the love and how we all unite as humans. And the enjoyment of creating. Yes. I think is, to me, when you get a team of people who just enjoy taking something from an idea to the finish line, and whatever that looks like in this case would be film, and being part of a team to do that and then sit back and watch it and it be enjoyed, whether it won or not. To me, that's the journey. Like, that's part of the whole process. Man. How many times have you connected with someone over a movie? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, like Brother, We're Out There. It was shot, part of it is in Yazoo City, and I'm from Yazoo City, and I just loved it. That's like meeting the people who made Brother, We're Out There and asking them, what made you come up with it? Right. That's what a film festival is like. You get to not only see the project, but you get to talk to the people who made it. All right, so how do we get our tickets? Where do we go? Oh, you go to JXN Film Festival website. It's jxnfilmfestival.com, and you can go to Eventbrite. And every event that we have for the week, the registration and the tickets are right there. And how many films did you have submitted this year? There are going to be 73 films that are going to be screened in the next 3 days. And they've already been, so is the winner already chosen?
Maybe ish.
Ish. Yes. Yes.
So you've got judges and all the things that are going through and taking that.
We have judges from across the country who are judging the projects, and they're judging them they're critiquing them hard.
All righty. Well, you'll have to let us know who wins.
Yeah,
especially
absolutely.
if it's about someone from Mississippi. And Maximus, don't make it 5 more years before you come back to see me, okay?
I promise I won't.
All righty. You guys stick with us. We got movie reviews with Tanya.